Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Echoes in the Dark. I am Bloodborne. I'm glad you guys are all here because we have a lot to talk about tonight. I'm going to bring some music back up here. There we go. All right. So, have you guys been on Bull Roar? Have you guys been on the forums? Have you guys been watching Twitter and Facebook for all the U19 stuff, the producer's letter stuff? We got lots to talk about. That hair and them baby blues. That's me. Hey, why did I not get any popcorn? There's always popcorn and I never get any. That's no fun. All right. Let's see here. Let's scroll back up here. Cool. Everybody's in here. All right. So I might pull somebody in from chat here in a little bit to talk, if that's cool by you guys. Ooh, extra butter. I'm down. Let's do it. All right. So we last week we got to talk to Quartermaster U for a while, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I really still feel bad about keeping him up so late, but hey, man, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Update 19 is titled March of the King, and if any of you guys have been on beta on Bull Roar, which I highly encourage people to do, now is the time to do feedback. We need to do feedback. With the changes that were done to the Hunter and to the Burglar, and some changes that were done to the Bjorning, we need feedback. I say we, but as a community, we need to provide feedback. What is working? What is not working? The data that they get is so important for all you guys that are playing those classes, for it to be built and playing the way you want it to. And thank you, Andang. I appreciate that, buddy. And by the way, on all the social media stuff that you and I were talking about, I'm still working on some Photoshop stuff and some slides for my streams, so I didn't forget about it. I'm working on it, and that's actually why I haven't streamed as much since then, is because I've actually been working on side stuff a little bit. Yeah. So, we're going to start off by talking about the producer's letter, and then we'll dive into U19, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. So, producer's letter. We got to hear in his own words from the first time. Really, I mean, there was a little thing there. There was a little teaser back a little while ago from Severlin, who is our executive producer of Lord of the Rings Online and of Dungeons and Dragons Online. My impression from the first tidbit that I saw on the forums from him, and also the interview with Daddy's LOTRO guides and his first producer's letter, is that Severlin's a pretty sharp dude. He knows what's up. He's been in the industry for a while. He knows what's going on. I actually liked the fact that he is over DDO as well, because DDO actually does a lot of raid content, which has me pretty excited. And the fact that they're looking at doing that on a 12 to, we'll say, year and a half scale, is pretty awesome. The fact that they want to do that stuff. Not a whole lot of information in there. A lot of teases, and teases can be all right. Teases, let's say that. I mean, they keep you coming back, and that's what we want, is people to keep coming back. I keep saying we. I am not on the team. I'm just a player. Yeah, so he is an old Turbine employee from Asheron's Cult too. He was actually producer over there as well, I believe. So he knows what's up. He's been around for a while, and I think he's a guy that you can kind of shoot straight and just say what's up. I would love to get him on here. There's actually, I've been sending some messages to Dr. Octothorpe, because I would really love to get him on here and talk about some things, since he is a systems engineer at this point. or the lead, or not systems engineer, I'm sorry, basically lead designer at this point. There's a lot of guys that I want to get on here, and might take a little bit of poking and prodding to get them on here because the show is so late. But hey, it wouldn't be Echoes in the Dark if we did it in the middle of the day now, would it? No. No. So, let's kind of dive in here again. I'm actually going to bring up... Let me bring up the producer's letter here. And that's actually under the articles. Let me bring that up. So, what are your guys' reactions to it? While I'm bringing this up and taking a peek at it, what are your reactions to the producer's letter? Were you excited for it? Was it underwhelming? I'm seeing a fair bit of underwhelming, but producers' letters are generally pretty vague. It's kind of like an outline, if you will, of goals that they want to, things that they want to accomplish. And I've gotten into arguments before about, you know, things that we were promised. Oh, we were promised that this was going to be the thing. And you know, it's a tough call. I mean, like, things don't always work out, and we get upset as players when they don't work out, and honestly, it's because we're passionate people. Players of MMOs are typically very passionate people, and arguments tend to come from a good place. Nothing wrong with it. It's just we get excited for stuff, and when it doesn't pan out, it's kind of a bummer. You know, I get that. I get bummed out when stuff that I want doesn't pan out, and that's okay. Let's see here. Let me scroll back up here. Kudithi says he's excited. That's all he has to say. Fretless, it's just exciting to know that they have plans for future of LOTRO that extend far into the future, and I agree. That's very exciting to know that there is a future with the, you know, with the 2.5 year plan and all that kind of stuff, which was mentioned in the interview. Endang says, I think the producer's letter didn't tell us much new, but it's still awesome. Yeah, I can agree with that. Again, it's very vague, but kind of just the idea of, like, kind of taking maybe this broad idea and bringing it down into more like, hey, we're getting close to this, guys. And then, you know, with update 19, with the housing updates and the hunter and burglar reworks, if you will, damage reworks. Gussie says, if the epic story is moving forward, I'm all about it. I must know what happens next. Well, it is. There is movement in the story, and I will not say any more on that. Halfpint says that she is excited, but also concerned. I don't like all this having to share my LOTRO dev team with other projects. I know they will all get the job done and done well, but sounds stressful. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it's going to be a good thing all around. You know, it'll get there. The cool thing is that, you know, if the LOTRO dev team has to share, well, if it's probably just all, you know, one team right now, so they're all working on multiple things. You know, if you've got those guys working on DDO stuff, you've got the DDO guys working on LOTRO stuff, so it could be good. You could say that there is a march forward of the epic. Yes. It is widely known now after the interview last week that it is called March of the King, which is awesome. Some stuff that's not really spoiler material, it's just kind of like matter-of-fact stuff, is that we're going to be in some of the zones that we've already been in, but they're after events. So, you know, if you're caught up on the story and everything, you know what I mean by that. And if you're not caught up on the story, then I won't elaborate much more than that. I think it's the fact that Turbine's art, animation, sound teams are shared by that actually keeps the games alive at this point. One game alone couldn't afford that many employees. Yeah, maybe true. may be true. It's hard to say. You know, without actually being under the hood and like part of the development team and part of the executive team, it's really hard to really say anything definitive about the inner workings of something like that, and that's cool. Like, you know, it's I don't want to say it to sound negative, but we get what we get. You know, I know a lot of players that stress out about, you know, the license, and they stress out about, you know, what's going to come out next, what's going to happen to my character, when are the servers going to like all this stuff that we stress about as players. Is there a need for it, and does it take away from your enjoyment of the game? And that's why I look at it in the light of, hey, the game's on today, I'm probably going to play today. That's what I do. If I knew that it was going to close down 6 months from now, I don't think it would degrade my quality of play or my level of engagement. It might actually enhance it to some degree, because I want to make sure that I do everything I want it to do. But again, we know that now that we've got a lot of time, assuming anything crazy doesn't happen. But so outside of that, you know, the producer's letter is pretty vague. I mean, they really just touched on some of the points, really just introduced himself, Severlin, and really just kind of describing what Update 19 is, you know, being that it is a kind of almost the culmination of the story, that we're heading into some really, really tense areas of the story, which I know a lot of players are going to be very, very excited for. I myself, as a lore nerd, I love what's coming up. Anything that is based around like ancient times stuff, so like Minas Tirith and Minas Morgul, the stuff up in Daggerlad, that stuff is really sorry, comments in the chat. Thanks, geek. Give me this guy's hair, it's always so perfect. You should take a picture of it and then just like Photoshop my face out, and then just do like a little green screen thing so you can just apply it. There you go. But you know, story wise, where we're headed, you know, it's not really a big secret where we are in the story and what's going to happen. A lot of, you know, if you play Lord of the Rings, you probably like Lord of the Rings, so you've probably watched the movies, read the books, dug into the Silmarillion. You know what's happening, and that makes it, for me, that makes it all the more exciting knowing what's coming, because you're getting into those tension spots, and it's like, is it gonna happen now? No? All right. Wait, whoa, maybe now. And then, you know, we just start inching closer and closer, and me and Kadithi were actually just running around on Bullroar, and we went up to a certain place that's a little further north, and I got chills, like, seeing what I saw. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away, because I know there's people that shy away from beta information because they just want to see it all when it comes out, and I appreciate that. Now I'm trying to be as delicate around that topic as I can, because Update 19 is going to be coming fairly soon, you know, in the next month. If it's on Bullroar, that means it's usually only a few weeks out. Yo, Deathlane. Oh, so that was you on Bullroar. Okay, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Let's see here. James A. The mere fact that an expansion being considered must be some sign of a plus. LOTRO will eventually close down, as Gandalf said. All we have to do is to decide what to do with the time that is given to us, and I don't think that you could have stated that any better. That's perfect. And SKD, thank you for the host, buddy. Appreciate that. Let's get some more people in there. Let's get that hype going. Yeah, typically 4 to 5 weeks out, you know, better part of a month, and we should be rolling out here. And that's kind of what they had elaborated with, was that they're targeting October, and that's going to be right on the money. Yeah. So, and you know, honestly, this is extremely important that if you guys have the ability to download Bull Roar and get on that server and test it, especially if you are a hunter or a burglar. They're specifically targeting that information right now. They want you guys to get in there and do the parses and poke holes and stuff. Now is the time to do it. Just do it. You know, it's kind of like we talk about with voting. If you don't vote, you can't really be pissed off. I mean, you can. Nothing's going to stop you. But honestly, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's important. You know, in relation to the game, it's important. We need people to test. We need people to get in there and do the parses and say that, hey, you guys said it was 25% and I'm only getting 5%. That's what they need to hear right now, and they need that information. You know, that's... I see what my perspective and things that I've observed while I test on beta is that people hop in to see it first and to go in and just like explore. And there's some very good testers out there, some very good testers that provide a lot of feedback, that go in and do a lot. And then I wish we had more of that, and I really would encourage people to do that. Put up screenshots. You were on there. Let's see here. Missing some stuff here. We will touch on the housing stuff in a little bit here. Berg love, everybody. Loving the 20-second aim cooldown on Berg. What was it before? It's been so long since I actually played my Berg. Even if you test just... Andang says, even if you test just one thing and give feedback, that is still very helpful. Absolutely. And it's all important. Even if you just get in there and, you know, everything is good. And you feel it's adequate. But you provide that. That's good. The biggest misconception about any type of testing, and this is across the board. This is software testing, hardware testing, just life in general. A lot of times people assume that the feedback has already been given or somebody has already said it. That's not the case, because so many people think that way that somebody else already said that. They've got to know about that. Don't assume they know about it. Assume they don't know about it and just write it up. Throw it in there. Throw in the bug reports. Okay, so it went from 1:10 down to 20 seconds. Oh, hell yeah, that's dope. That's the kind of stuff that really makes what we say we have a great community. That's really what makes it even better, is when we take the time to provide sound feedback to these guys. They want to make a good product. I don't think anybody goes to work in a day and says, you know what, I want to trash this thing. You know what? I want the hunters to be the worst freaking class in any MMO that's ever been played. I don't think anybody goes to work and sincerely believes that. I think what happens is that a lot of people assume that somebody's already said it and then the feedback is not provided. So then what happens is, well, there's only really 2 people that said anything about this. Well, let's not waste our time on that, because there's 30 people that said something about this. Okay. So get in there, test, let's get some sound feedback and get it going. You know, if you guys provide so much feedback that it takes a month and a half to come out, okay, then we get a superior product. Great. You know, If their goal is to make the class the worst out of any MMO, they're doing a really bad job. There you go. See? Yeah, so anybody that's trying to give feedback, if you go to the main forums and you scroll down to the servers, there's a sub one for, yeah, there we go. There's the link. Bug reports are going to go directly to engineers, and the more bug reports they see, the better. So if you see something, submit the bug. If you've got like a really big write-up, throw that on the forums, but then still bug it as well. And I think that's also a misconception, is even if something is maybe working as intended, or like everything falls into that bug category. It's bugging something is just a avenue of feedback. So just think of it like that. So, you know, if you go in there and you're like, whoa, the cost of this is way too high, put in a bug report. All right, that's the best way to do that. The more information they get, the better. So I don't want to touch on too much more of the producer's letter, honestly, because there's a lot of teasing and stuff in there, and if you want to check that out, I highly encourage you to go over there. If you go to LOTRO.com, you can actually go to the top, and under the game subcategory, you can go to articles, and it is the top one. Yep, technical issues, bug it, feedback and ideas, forums, exact number you want changed, exact number you want changed, bug with description. There you go. That's a nice, and Rowan is big on sending in bugs. Good. Good. That is a good way to be. Now, I need to switch gears here and head over to, I'm going to pull up the patch notes. This is a... Update 19 is a dinger. There's a lot of stuff in here. And again, I'm not going to touch on any of the zoning, phasing, story stuff, because I know that's pretty sensitive to people, and I want to leave that alone. Just know there is movement there. So, first and foremost, housing. Housing. And Deathlane has a question about housing, so good timing. I saw a comment from Fred before that said that his lifetime would be... What was that? You're in... There it is. I just realized if I get a premium house, my lifetime subscription will really have paid off. That upkeep looks very high. Yeah, if I decide to do one, which I don't know if I'll do or not. Yep, no spoilers, just the teases. That's it. The housing, I'm not sure if I will do that or not. Now, I know some of you guys are like 50-50 split on the housing. I like that it's in such a different zone, to be honest. Having it in the Cape of Belfalas is pretty awesome. The fact that we can get a kinship house on an island is pretty awesome. Yeah, and I mean, the fact that it's been 6 months is pretty nuts. God, is that when 18 came out? Well, see, I'm thinking a little bit, because of 18. Well, was it 18.2 for the raid, or is that 18.1? I can't remember. But anyway, you know, we've had a lot of content this year, and it's been really good. The story's been really good. The raids have been really good. The instances have been good. And I know some of you guys are going to poke holes in that and say stuff is bugged. Show me another game that's not bugged, and I will concede. But anyway, you know, to be honest, it's been really good content, and it's had a good pacing, and everything has been structured to the story, which is the most important piece. We've had stuff in the past that did not have anything to do with the story, and a big chunk of why most of us play the game is for the story. The story is fantastic. You know, 18.2 is the rate. I get that stuff mixed up. Yes, and anybody who normally watches me, yes, I'm drinking Coke, not Mountain Dew. Deal with it. There's something to take to the forums about the exorbitant pricing of the premium housing. Well, I was thinking about that. It's premium. Premium things come at a premium cost. 18 beta was in March. Okay, so it has been that long. Dang. That has been a long time. Yeah, oh my god, Coke. Haven't seen a Baja Blast in a while. Yeah, I know. But let's see. So let's dive in here. So Cape of Belfast housing. I think it's pretty cool that you can actually you can own more than one house now, without doing some weird things and making multiple kinships to buy houses and each character and all kinds of stuff. It's about 8,000 turbine points. Yes. You can do whatever you want, half pint. But you know, it's kind of cool too that the upkeep is waived for VIPs, and that includes lifetimers. So just a frustrating I can't leap through the screen and help you. Wait, who are you talking about? Taliesin is, I'm the idiot who purchased all the Warsea Daz and kin housing storage. I won't be wasting any more money. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, that's a bit much. Thanks, Half-Pint. Appreciate that. Yeah, the upkeep is mithril if you are not VIP. If you are VIP, it is waived. Thank you, Eldlith. Yeah, and that's honestly something, again, we talked about with Quartermaster U on last week's stream. If pricing seems not right, you gotta submit the feedback and let them know. Like, hey, I'm not gonna pay that. And if they introduce a system and people don't pay for it, the cost will come down. But I mean, other than that, some of the stuff I've seen is that, like, Kadithi likes to say that the inside of the housing looks like a tomb. I, for one, actually love the Gondorian architecture. I've been looking at them. I'm alright with it. As it stands right now, I don't even use my house that much. It is just another storage chest for me. I have some decorations and stuff like that. I have all my Variag property guards out roaming the estate, but that's about it. I believe in a different thing you said, tomb. But anyway, regardless. There are some really cool features of them. I think they're pretty cool. I do think that the pricing could stand to come down a bit. Again, here's the thing. This is build 1. Things change. And that's why we have several rounds of beta. And that's why we have opportunities to give feedback on this stuff. If it didn't care, they wouldn't do beta. If it didn't care, they wouldn't specifically ask for feedback. So these guys care. They want to make things better for you guys and me. I'm included in that. So Gussie does need a Grey Company property guards. Yes. Yes, indeed. But aside from that, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if it's something that I will partake in. Maybe someday down the line, but it's a lot of mithril coins. Maybe if I get really lucky in several Hobbit presents, we'll take a peek at it. All right. So the next thing on the patch notes was about the Flora barter system. Now, I was out running around with Kadithi, and he found a couple of them. The thing that I actually find a little irritating for myself personally is that the best rings in the game currently, like in this build, come from picking up flowers. Yep. Not killing Gothmog, not, driving back the Nazgul, not picking up flowers. Yep. But anyway, okay. Wait, where was that? I didn't see that. Where was that in the notes? Is the trade system plus flowers or just flowers? When you pick up the flowers, you get vials of like an essence of that particular flower, and you trade that in. Oh no! Oh no, Gussie! I didn't say there was anything wrong with picking flowers at all. I just don't think that kind of. Where is that? Is that down all the way down at the bottom? Okay, yep, I see it. Cool, thank you. Down in the middle of the known issues. I got it, thank you. See, that's why I do this stuff. I don't have all the information. Some people read other stuff. All right, cool. Thank you for that. I'll note that because there are some really irritated people. Yeah, I got you. Thanks, dude. I am not a gear snob. Maybe a little bit. I like my gear. That's one of the things aside from the story that I really enjoy is making my character better. Hey, like I said, there's nothing wrong with picking flowers. There's just you shouldn't be getting that kind of gear from doing it. Come on, I've killed a Balrog. Do I need to pick flowers to get rings? No, Kadithi, you're a gear snob. How many sets of gear do you have on your captain that you carry around in your bags all the time? Yeah, so the Flora system does bring into account some other pieces of gear, which are on really the same structure as the raid gear. It's just they don't have the set bonuses. So that's something that I always like is options. Options are good. So when you go in and maybe the RNG is not on your side and you really can't get pieces of gear to go in to do tier 2, well, this one might help you open the door and get into tier 2s. On top of the jewelry being updated for the featured instance gear, there are also new essences. There are Ithilien greater essences. Now, doing some math on this, there were like this is still something that irritates me. A supreme essence of physical mastery is 1,378 physical mastery plus 100, or I'm sorry, this is not, wrong one, sorry. I'm looking at the greater essence, greater Ithilien essence, the new one. So tier 8 is 1,378 physical mastery with 197 crit. That is still less than a supreme essence of might, of masterful might, for example. That's what my class uses. So I think it kind of bugs me that essence masteries or mastery essences are not the top tier of mastery. That doesn't make sense. It makes that essence completely useless, really. Jogo says, Athelian essences saved my life. I will no longer grind for supreme morale and mitigation essences. Fair enough. Like I said, it's good to have options. Options are good. It gets a lot of other people into spots where they can do content that they would not otherwise have been able to do. And that's pretty important. You know, we look at situations where, you know, I don't have time to do the raid. I don't have 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to commit to it. But, you know, I can go and do some landscape questing, pick up some of this stuff, and go from there. You know? Who's yelling at me? Here, I'll move that out of the way. Let's see. But yeah, I think it's good. Anytime we have more options for characters and for players, that's good. Always a good thing. The thing that kind of sucks about it, and it's not really that bad, is that sometimes it just creates, for us min-maxers, Charles, thank you for the host, buddy. For the min-maxers out there, it causes problems because then we'd have to look at so many different things and try to figure out so many different combinations, and that just takes time. And that's ultimately time that's taken away from the enjoyment of the game, which is playing it. That's what I like to do, is I like to play the game. You guys have seen me on a couple streams where I've just had my hand in my face like this, and I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, do I need 3 of these essences, or do I need to switch out this piece of gear and use these? Essence calculator is amazing. If you guys have not used it, please do. Save yourself some heartache. Classes. So had some I will say fairly large changes to the Berg damage, the Hunter damage, and many Bjorning skills now require line of sight. Yep. Anything that targets something should require a line of sight. Just come on. Anyway, I've been messing around with the Hunter on Bull Roar, and I did something I usually don't do, and that's I went in and I decked out his first stages. I picked out all the legacies that I wanted. I went in. Now, granted, the only thing he doesn't have is 82 trait points. I think he's in the upper 60s somewhere, but all the virtues are 19. Got a pretty okay build for it. I went and just picked up the greater raid gear just to test it out. And no. I go red Bowmaster. I don't think my Hunter has ever been outside of Redline. So that's just always my thing. I like Bowmaster. I think since 2007 when I started that character, he's been primarily a red spec Hunter. And, you know, that's my thing. But the 4 topics that they hit on in the patch notes, if you guys have not seen them, is that the overall Hunter damage has been increased. Focused builder skills have received a moderate damage boost. Moderate. Focused consumers have received a strong damage boost, and split shot has received a significant damage boost. Now, I do not know the Hunter as well as I used to back 5-6 years ago. I typically level him up, and he sits at cap. I might mess around with him here and there just for fun. That being said, just testing on the dummies within Dol Amroth, yes, it was 91k on an upshot. Um, it's pretty decent. I mean, that particular number is good, but the DPS and the parses, I don't have a good rotation. I don't know. Well, and here's the thing, is for anybody that was paying attention, this was described as being a damage increase. This was not a systematic fix to either class. So people got to understand that. That is coming later. What they wanted to do is bring the damage up. And again, this is where it's crucial that we do stuff like provide feedback on the forums and jump in there and bug reports and things like that. It's very important. You know, talking to Chromite the other week, you know, I know that he can play his hunter incredibly well. He knows what he's looking for procs and things like that. And I want to avoid saying this because it sounds like a slam against people, but there are some certain situations where people aren't fully educated on their class. And like I said, I don't want that to be a slam, but it's just true. You know, people go in and, you know, people might be complaining that have used Blessing of Valor to get a tune up and they don't have all their virtues, they don't have all their trait points, they don't have their LIs all the way, they don't have essence gear, and if they do have essence gear, they have major essences, they don't have supremes. Like, there's a lot of variables to take into account here. Like, people that aren't impressed, like, do they have all of that stuff? Do they have none of that stuff? Are they someplace in between? Are they not even 105? You know, and again, like, I don't want that to be a slam on anybody, but I want to keep it, like, I just want to bring it to a head. Like, you know, there are things that you need to consider when you're saying, like, you log in and you say, nope, this sucks. What? You know, I think it's important to take this opportunity right now, since they are working on it actively, to go in, bug it, report it, post it on the forums, use your tools now. That is why they're doing this stuff. So that's all I'll say on the hunter. But when I was testing it unbuffed, I was sitting at about 22k DPS on the parses. I know that's, by RK standards, that's not even that great. That's crap. But the other response is that they just need the fix is to nerf other classes. That's not the right way to do it. That is definitely not the right way to do it. I know the argument. I read it. And that is to nerf the Warden, nerf the RK. So that ultimately they would end up having to also nerf the raid. Because ultimately the runs that I've been in on tier 1 or tier 2 have had a lot of RKs in there, do a lot of fire damage, and it brings stuff down pretty quick. You bring that down, you change the dynamic of the raid then. Which that may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing. I don't know, but I just don't think that's the right approach. That's me personally. Again, anything I say on this channel, unless I'm pulling it directly from an official statement or patch notes or something like that, is my opinion. And that's why these things are important, to have discussion. That's why I want people on here, is to have discussions. Let's see here. And then, you know, also on the Berg side of things, problem is hunters have been shafted since a raid was released and before. Silent Street, anybody? Yeah. You know, I don't doubt, Chromite, that I could take you into any of those things and I wouldn't have to worry about you at all. And I think there's a little bit of a stigma. Hey, what's up, Technical? I think there's a little bit of stigma around what makes a group successful. Ultimately, it's beating content, right? That's at least what I consider to be successful. I think when we got the trait tree changes and then we didn't get new instances and didn't get new raids, the mentality that I started seeing was, how fast can we face roll this? And that became the measure of success. I think that's the problem. There are definitely mechanical problems, there are definitely mathematical problems, but there is also a cultural problem of success looks like this, and success looks like, well, we beat this in 10 minutes. Your group with a hunter and a burglar took 45 minutes. Yeah, if it took 45 minutes, but I still beat it, I don't care. I win. You know, unless there's a deed or, you know, you lose challenge by doing it too slow, then, you know, that's fine. Even when Isengard was the hardest raid, there were 2 to 3 RKs, 2 captains, 1 mini, 6 manning the thing, and tier 2 challenges. Yep. The cultural problem came about with the reducing the difficulty of instances and bloating of stats, and also trait tree changes. Yep. I agree. Give me everything shiny now. Yeah. Yeah. Deathlane says, in my opinion, burglars are good for now, but I'd like us to be more viable in a raid and other instances. Sure. Everybody wants to be viable. Currently, we're viable for nothing. No. There are people doing tier 2 challenge stuff that love having yellow burgs. Yeah, and the problem that we're seeing right now, technical, is that the top tier players are the ones that are saying there are problems. And it's not a problem of folks that are on, like, starting out or are new or stuff like that. It's the fact that people that have been playing the class and know the inner workings. And I'll throw Chromite out there as an example for the hunter. He is a very good player. He knows the class mechanically very well, and he understands it, and is able to provide stat-based problems and mechanical-based problems, and understanding that's very important. I like to play in blue line on my bird, just because nobody else does. I play a blue bird just because. I also like to hear the ching from Gambler. Alright, I need to switch out. I don't like to do this way, but we're going to do it like that. Why are you calling people who know how to play the class and extremely this? Chromite, I just think that you know your class extremely well. Stage 541, what's up, buddy? Let's just say use a different term. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh boy, here we go. I'm not gonna dive into elitist. I've been down that road before. I'm not gonna jump into that. So I'd be here for another 3 hours, and I don't want to do that. Let's see here. All right, and then so let's take a peek. With the burglar, I know I've been hearing a little bit more positive about the Berg than I have with the Hunter right now. We're seeing the overall... No, I was just trying to find my page again. Saw the overall damage has increased. The aim now guarantees a crit response, unlocking after the your crit chain. Well practiced now reduces the cooldown of aim by 20 seconds per rank. And I think that's getting you down to 20 seconds. I would say if you're going to use anything that's in the realm of elitist elite, I would say elite, not elitist. Because I would definitely consider like Chromite to be elite, but I don't think he's elitist. Elitist is assuming that you are the best. Elite is when other people say you're the best. So, Chromite, take that as a compliment, bud. Which I do think that of you, by the way. Yeah, and then Heartening Prank has increased the morale from 2 to 10%, up from 1 to 5%. So, yeah. I don't know what a lot of that stuff means in day-to-day function. I think that it's going to take the people that play it day in, day out, do it in all scenarios, landscape, tier 1, tier 2, tier 2 challenge, raid, like just everything, to really get a good understanding of what those changes are. And that person is definitely not me. Now, if there's changes being made to a champion, I will definitely sound off on those, because I know that class very well from playing it since 2007 religiously. What's up, Zahn? How you doing, buddy? By the way, we've got 52 people in here right now, so welcome everybody that's stopping in here. Seeing a few more names pop in. So, and again, I do want to point out, because it seems to be something that needs to be reminded of, is that this is build 1. And we usually get several builds. Things change based on feedback. So the damage buff for the hunters really only buffs up tier 1 landscape stuff. It doesn't really help tier 2 and long duration fights. Yeah, I did kind of notice that, where it's really really burst damage still. Sustained was not that great, I didn't notice. So in Chromite, that's something I really want to... I think what you're seeing right now is they put out a build, and they want to see, because they've done their own testing and their own things, like they've got their own ideas of what is going to work based on an engineering level, and now they wanted to give that to you guys to test. Now test it and then go forward, because they honestly, there's things that you provide feedback on that ultimately cannot be accomplished, and I'm not saying that anything that you have provided can't be, but not everything will be, and you know that pretty well. The problem is that for the longest time, you've got different people working on the classes year over year over year, and that's a problem. That is definitely a problem. Is because, hey, you know what? I'm going to work on the hunters this year, and we're going to do this. That person gets laid off. That person switches teams. That person is no longer a content creator, but they're on a different team. So now that all changes. That's why you have to keep talking about it. And I know you guys have, but you got to keep doing it. Keep pushing, and you'll get it. All right. It's important to do it. And, you know, unfortunately, when you go to the forums, you're going to see like 4 or 5 people talking about it. And you're going to see like a thread that's multiple pages of the same people talking about it. That's unfortunate. Just keep trying. Right now, and here's the thing, is right now we know they're actively working on it. What's up, Jet? How you doing? They're actively working on this stuff. So now is the perfect time to do it. And here's the problem with having given information in the past is those 4 or 5 years to keep trying. Different teams, different designers, different content creators, different objectives, different initiatives, things like that right now. And then scrolling through all of the forums, and I'm going to say it, all the bitching and complaining that comes along with it, it's really kind of hard to find like the good chunks or the good nuggets of information out of some of these flame threads that are started. You have tried right now, but we've got one build, so just keep going. And like I said, right now is the time to do it. And I'm going to do my best to use this medium right here to bring people in. That's why I want a discussion, and I want to be able to bring yes, I agree, Chromite, and that's what I want this avenue to be. Is first that kind of connector piece to get the two like that. I'm hoping that having Quartermaster U last week was the catalyst to get this going, and hopefully from there, update 19 is not small. There's a lot there. So that's something I'm trying to use this tool for, is to get a dev on, and what's difficult is the time that I do this. And like I said, I stream late. Being a dad comes first. Job comes second. This comes third. And I know you guys understand that and respect that. But I'm trying my best to be a conduit for you guys and for the development team. As much as Cordovan is doing, I'm trying to help push that, because that's my personality. Is I push. I can be a little bit of an asshole when I need to be. I didn't say that. But anyway, moving on, because we were talking about that for a little while. Go to the forums, submit the feedback, submit the bug reports, do it. Get on Bullroar, test it out, submit it. Now. Not right now, because you're watching me. After we're done. So featured instances, those are changing out. We are getting Sari Surma to replace the Bells of Dale, Fornost Water to replace Sameth Ghoul, Howled Valandil to replace the Dungeons of Dol Guldur, and I cannot wait to watch all the people die in Howled Valandil. North Cotton Farm to replace the Halls of Night, and Ibar's Peak to replace Stoneheight. Drakewing is still in there, I believe, because that's the only things that are switching out. It's not actually mentioned in the patch notes. I don't see anyway. Probably further down here. Nope. Okay. The featured instance jewelry is increased. That part is in here, but the essence box that drops out of the instance is not mentioned. At least I don't see it anywhere in there. So basically, I ran Ibar's Peak Tier 2, and I got an essence box, a Athelian essence box to drop, which is a box that lets you pick from one of physical and tactical mastery, physical and tactical mitigation, critical, and morale. They're all greater tier 8s. They're a little bit better than the current tier 8 graders, and some of them are like borderline better than some of the Supremes, but they are in there, and it is quite an interesting take on that, because it adds with the Flora barter system, with the gear that you can get out of there, and doing the featured instance set. There's a lot of different things that you can do there. And like I said earlier, it's all about choice. Choice is a good thing, because again, Yes, there are new tier 8 graders, not supremes. So for those people who can't get into the raids and stuff like that, um, it's it's a different approach, and people that do the instances can get better stuff. People who do questing can get stuff. People who do the raid obviously get better stuff. So there's a lot of cool stuff that is being done, and thankfully I just don't see any more stuff being done like some old systems that I personally didn't like. So all the other stuff that's really listed in here is some bug fixes, some tweaks, and things like that. So if you guys want to check it out, I would encourage you to. Now, something I did, I sent a message to Dr. Octothorpe about getting him on here, and if you guys would like to see Dr. Octothorpe on here, don't necessarily send a message. Maybe start a thread or something like that, and let's see if we can get him in here. I would really like to. I would be pretty excited to have him in here. There's a lot of questions that I would like to ask him, and I'm sure you guys would too. So we're going a little long here. I want to try to keep this around an hour. Couple things for next week and then into October. First things first, this coming week, on Thursday, I will be leaving to go to TwitchCon. I'll be meeting up with Gussie over there. Excited for that. We're going to have my buddy Shaladool and Brookrim will also be there. And then I'm going to try to stream from there. They are doing the broadcaster pods again this year, so I am going to try to stream from there. I hope it's probably going to be the first thing I do. I'm going to catch the opening keynote and then just run over and sign up if it's there again. So I'm going to try to stream from there. So I actually need to grab my... I won't be streaming the whole thing. Allergies, excuse me. Because it's 3 days. What I would really like to do is stream from there. The expo hall, I think, closes before I would typically do Echoes in the Dark. So I will try to keep you guys up to date if I can do Echoes in the Dark at the normal time next Sunday, or if I need to do it earlier or something like that. I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, Gussie, we can try to do Periscope for sure. But yeah, we will try to do 72-hour marathon. You guys are going to try to kill me. So that's kind of what's going to happen this week. I'll still have a couple streams this week, and so you can catch me there. The other thing is I have a few things throughout the month of October to give away. What we're going to be doing is on Mondays. So actually Monday starting when I get back from TwitchCon, we're going to be doing Mount Mondays. And this is just through October. Okay. So I have 4 codes for a Steed of the White City. It is currently not on the store. And they do expire at the end of October. So whoever gets the last one is going to have to hurry and get that on there. The second thing will be on Fridays in October. The other part will be that I have 4 5,000 turbine point codes that we're going to give away on Fridays in the month of October. So I'm hoping that this will help generate a little hype around LOTRO as a game, as our community, my personal channel. Those are things. I can get a deluxe house too. These are all things that I'm really trying to find more ways to grow the channel, help grow the community. And that's things that I would like to do, with like partnering with LOTRO players and some of the other podcasters, some of the other YouTubers, and kind of getting that all together with Cordovan to get that all solidified into one place. I would still very much like to see a partnered Twitch streamer that specifically does LOTRO. That's something that I have specifically been working towards very hard for the last 3 years. It's been very, very challenging with our game. I think I have been declined 7 times now, but I still do what I do. It's still a goal. I don't know what's going to happen with it. Basically what has to happen, the information that's been provided to us from Twitch is that we need to be in the triple digits of viewers consistently. And I know we can do it. I've actually had it before. I've had streams where I've been, I was just looking at it today while I was at work, where I've been at 130, and I had a very large stream that was 230 viewers. Extra life. We had over 100 for a good portion of the day. Yes, that's what their guideline says, but since we're not a top tier game, we don't fall into that category. Trust me, dude. I've had plenty of conversations with these guys. That is just their guideline. Yep. So you need to have that kind of viewership if you're playing League of Legends, Warcraft, Counter-Strike. That's what you need to have if you're playing those games. That's what they want. If you're playing a game that's not in the top 10, top 15 of games, they just want to see that you've got triple digits, and then you're good. And I think that's something we can do as a community, is we can get around our Twitch broadcasters and help them out. Myself included. A little shameless plug here. That's all right, bud. I didn't do anything too extensive on the Berg, so I will reserve that for when I can have you on here and when I can have Brookrim on here. So I would love to have you two on here for the Berg conversation. But yeah, I really think that's something that we can accomplish. I'd be surprised if we couldn't. Yeah, why not? You got to do it. My hair promotes itself. Nice, Cosmic. But honestly, again, that's still my goal. I'm not going anywhere. I've been streaming the game for over 3 years now. It keeps on growing, slowly but surely. Like I said, we've got 52 viewers in right here. We capped out at 56. And that's even without having Quartermaster U in here, which we had 77 in there. So I know we can do this. Yes, my hair has its own Twitter account, and I don't know who started that, but it's funny. Why can't Warner Brothers bribe YouTubers to play LOTRO? I don't know. Invite Phelps on your stream to bring up your viewers. Just hit Arkansas with a 5,000 turbine info. Still dinging with. Yeah. So, and that's something. Andang, are you still? Yeah. There you go. So, Andang, if that's something that you might be able to share on Lotro Players that we're going to be doing, pushing that out. Can I get a link to Bloodborne's hair account? Oh my god. This is nuts. Again, just part of that cross promotion between the different areas of the community, and because I want to push folks over your way, I want to push people over to the different. You got timed out. There you go. Okay, cool, dude. I can do that. So again, just to kind of recap here. So today we talked about the producer's letter with Severlin. We talked about the Update 19 patch notes and a lot of the different topics within that. And then we also talked about with going to TwitchCon this week and some of the promotions that we're going to be doing in the month of October on Mondays and Fridays. So that is where I'm going to leave you guys tonight. Again, if you have any feedback for me, please send it on over to bloodbornemmo@gmail.com. I read all of it, and I do take it seriously. This is what I enjoy doing. So if there's something that I can do better or change or add, I want to know about it. Make sure that you're also following me on my personal channel, which is twitch.tv/bloodborne. Just click the link, hit the purple heart, send some love over there. Am I streaming tomorrow? Yes. I should be. Yes. Okay. Other than that, I hope to see you guys all soon. And I'm trying to think. There was something else I had that I wanted to say, but I can't think of it. So you guys all have a good night, and we will see you next time.